Alright y'all, as you can see, we are locked, loaded, and ready to go with our photo studio setup. Look at how absolutely enormous this light is compared to me, but all of this is absolutely necessary. I'm so excited for you to see my process, so let's get started. Hi y'all, SnarkyJay Cosplay here. So besides YouTube, a lot of you guys know that I do a lot of content creation on Instagram. I am a dedicated cosplayer. I do a lot of different cosplays. So in this video, we're gonna take some time so I can show you guys what exactly my typical photo shoot day looks like for me. It all starts off with lots of gear the day before. Essentially, we end up loading everything we need into our living room the day before we want to shoot, because I have ended up setting up all this gear the morning of the shoot, but then that means that we get off to a really late start and I'm usually sweaty and tired by the time we get started. As you can see here, we've got stands, we've got lights, we've got a paper backdrop already set up for me. There we are. And with our stuff loaded in, we get to work. I know most of the footage here is just my dad setting things up. I promise you I'm not walking circles around him with a camera. I actually set up a lot of this stuff with him, at least as an assistant. It takes quite a bit of gear to make me look as good as I do in photos. This is essentially my fill light right here. I have a love-hate relationship with this light because it's so enormous that I think it's really cool, but also it's blinding. And once that's set up, we still have a lot of work to do. We've got in progress right here the hair light, and we also have to do the key on the side. Okay, so we might have skipped a few steps, but here we've pretty much got what our setup looks like. We essentially use two flags, one in white to sort of fill me in on my right side and one in black to add contrast on the left. We have that side light to sort of bring me out of the background. We have a big light overhead to give me a nice hair light, and of course on screen right we've got that enormous light that literally overpowers the sun. And even though we used to shoot with flash, we now do constant lighting with these nan lights. It's honestly just easier. Sometimes with flashes they don't all fire at the same time, so the constant lighting has actually made shooting so much easier. Usually by the time we finish setting that up, it's time to settle down, watch some TV, and get ready for the next day. The next day I usually try to get up early. I'm kind of an early riser anyway, so that I can get as many photo shoots done as possible in a single day. I start off my morning contemplating why I do this to myself and also making myself a little bit of oatmeal to get the day started. And once I've had my brekkie, I lay out every single costume I'm planning on doing for the day pretty much in order. Silk, Ghostface, something from the Fantastic Four, Supergirl, Gwenpool. We've got a lot of stuff to shoot today. Once all of that is laid out, it's time to start fixing my face. I will admit I'm really not a big makeup person. Anytime you guys see me on YouTube, the only thing I really do to my face is lashes, eyeliner, I put on a little bit of concealer, and I do my eyebrows. But for photography, unfortunately, I end up having to do contour and foundation and all that other stuff. I hate having that much shit on my face, to be honest. But in still camera, every single flaw is so obvious that if I didn't do this, I'd have to spend a lot of time retouching. Once I've got a nice base, I pretty much do eyeshadow that I think would work for pretty much any character. So what I'm doing here is kind of like a silver smoky eye. It might not work 100% for everybody, but it is a pretty neutral thing that I can kind of apply across the board. And as you can see here, this is what my face looks like when fully made up and in light contacts, which God didn't give me because he knew I would be too powerful. The first outfit of this shoot day was a pretty simple one. I actually wanted to do a Selena Kyle sort of glamour look with this dress I got. Here's one of the finished images of this look slash costume. To be honest, I really hate shooting this kind of stuff. I'm really uncomfortable just being myself when it comes to photography, and this was kind of that. So I really didn't have fun shooting this, but I do like the result. After that, I moved on to one of my favorites that recently made an appearance on this channel, Silk Spider. I will say though that as nice as this suit looks in some parts, I actually can't stand it because, for lack of a better word, the boob shading actually cuts mine in half, so I spend the whole shoot trying to yank it down and it just doesn't work. This is one of the finished photos from this one though. As you can see, I've already used Photoshop and generative AI to kind of apply myself to a cool background, and I really like the way these turned out. After Silk, I moved on to something really different for me. I don't do a lot of horror, but my next look was Ghostface. I did buy the mask already bedazzled. I just added a little bit of black behind the eyes, and I finished off the nose because it wasn't exactly right. But can we just appreciate my knife? I literally bejeweled this thing by hand, and I also added my name to it because, let's face it, you guys know I'm a little bit of a narcissist, and I know that when people Photoshop my watermarks out of my pictures, at least my knife says my name on it. After that, I actually had a reshoot. So not every photo shoot goes exactly how I want. This was the first time that I shot my Sue Storm / The Invisible Woman cosplay, and I just really didn't like that wig. I was kind of going for Jessica Alba in the 2000s Fantastic Four movies, but that thing just did not do anything for me. So I ended up with all these pictures that I honestly didn't even want to use. So I ended up digging up a different wig from my closet, and I liked the way that looked with this suit a whole lot better. This is one of the finished images that I'm super happy about. When I'm shooting this many cosplays in a day, what I try to do is organize everybody by like wig and contact color. So since I shot Sue Storm with that long blonde wig, I went ahead and jumped into Supergirl right after. I bought the bodysuit, a cape, and the iron-on emblem plain. My mom ended up ironing on the emblem for me. I cut up the cape and she sewed it onto the bodysuit for me as well. And that's how my Supergirl came to be. Here's one of the finished images. I know it's not 100% traditional Supergirl, but I have a lot of fun in it, and I really like this one. And like I said, it's got a little special place in my heart because it's kind of a project that my mom and I worked on together. Another thing that I have to contend with when it comes to cosplay photography is that some of these characters are ones that I've been doing forever and are still relevant to me. So back in like 2019 was the first time I ever shot Gwenpool, and I look and behave considerably different now than I did in 2019, so I don't want to keep reusing those pictures. I shot it again in 2020, another time in 2022, and now Gwenpool is back in 2024 with a wig that I styled myself. And yes, I'm kind of showing off for the camera, but honestly, Gwenpool is just one of those cosplays that I feel fun in. And here's one of the edited photos from that particular shoot. Like I said, I 100% love this cosplay. There are a few things that I think look cuter on me than that. Admittedly, at this point, I started getting a little delirious. This was now costume number 7, and I was on my way to hangry, so I forgot to get video of my Zatanna cosplay. Here's one of the finished pictures though. Zatanna is another one of those that I've been doing forever, so this is already the 3rd version of her. I just think this is a great look, and this edit was 100% inspired by a variant cover for Zatanna number 16 by Ariel Diaz. I love this art, and so I tried to recreate it on my own. I'm not a Photoshop expert, but this was really, really nice. My last one was actually supposed to be Dazzler from X-Men, but by the time I got past Wonder Woman, I did not feel like applying the face paint for Dazzler. So I ended the day on this version of Wonder Woman. It's supposed to be Linda Carter's bodysuit, but I don't know, I'm not a fan of that old-timey hairstyle, so I ended up just going with my favorite black wig, still using the red lipstick that Linda Carter was so famous for. This is one of the finished images of this one. I really like the way this turned out. I think it really gives off animated Wonder Woman vibes, so I was super proud of this one. And this is the aftermath of a full day of shooting. A mess of props and wigs and stockings. And that's just something I'm entirely unwilling to deal with immediately after doing 8 different photo shoots, so I left that all behind and got out of the house to go grab a bite to eat. To be completely transparent though, on photo shoot days, I pretty much don't stop working all day. But once I got back, it was time to plug in the card, download all the media, and sit there and start editing. I try to edit at least 1 full photo of each cosplay because my Patreon subscribers get one of these immediately after they're done. Instagram might end up seeing 3 to 4 images from each of these shoots because I'm not just gonna post the same cosplay a million times. This is the content that all my patrons get. Every month I drop at least 3 photo shoots, and I also try to do extras in regards to videos, selfies, that kind of thing. So once these previews are done, I drop them all on Patreon, and so far it seems like people are really enjoying these sets. Shooting cosplays is literally exhausting. I'm the one who helps set up gear, I'm the one who does hair and makeup, I'm the one who has to manage wardrobe, I put everything away, and to do 8 different cosplays in a day literally feels like torture. But at the end of the day, it's a big part of what I do, and I do really enjoy getting to be a lot of different people in front of the camera. I'm awkward in front of the camera myself, so when I get to just put on a wig, put on contacts, and be an entirely different person, that's where the fun starts. And that's all for me. I've been SnarkyJay. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. For more SnarkyJay, be sure to check me out on Instagram, and if you'd like to support me, this channel, and my content creation, do check out and consider subscribing to my Patreon for all this exclusive photo shoot content. It would really help me out. I'll add links to both of those in the description below, and let me know your thoughts on my photo shoot process in the comments below.